So I think I mentioned that my confidence has been a little bit knocked when it comes to knitting because of the problems that I'm having with my current project, which is a Mother's Day present. We're going to just ignore the date in the corner, and it's so loose. I've never done anything this loose before, and I think the reason is I probably picked up the wrong pair of needles. I hope it's that, because if it's not, then but this is like the same weight, and while it is curling, uh, it's clearly a lot tighter than that is. But in terms of the Yarnimation project, I'm kind of glad that uh, I didn't get the yarn that I asked for, because I think I'm gonna go with this. And I think this is actually a chunky rather than a DK. I think I went to buy a DK and I bought a chunky by accident. But as you will notice, this isn't curling. And I know what needles I used on it, so I'm hoping that this is the way forward. I will say, I am a little bit sad about if I go for chunky, because what I got at the wool shop last time was this. It's 100% cotton DK. And I still like the idea of doing water, and so I kind of thought maybe some fish in a stream in the silver could be like what you can see of them as they swim by, uh, which obviously will not work if I go for chunky, but it's an idea. We'll see where it goes. So I found my crochet hook, and with both a little bit more and a little bit less success than I thought, I did manage to kind of pull the excess yarn back, so it does look neater on the front, which is a relief for me. Um, I don't quite know. I think maybe one of my nails is catching on it, um, which is not ideal. But um, at least I kind of know how to fix it. I'm more concerned about how that might play out, like scene to scene, or I don't know, piece to piece. Um, but it's good that I can kind of fix it anyway. It's done. A little bit late in the day, but it's done. This is also why we have not been doing like plushy yarnimation. I would love to do that at some point, but we are a long way off of that. we were running out of battery earlier, so I did not show you the sketch of the fish idea, which again has been scrapped. I don't like to use non-natural yarn, I've said that before, and I don't think you can kind of get the gleam of scales otherwise. The amount of detail that I think would really make it look really amazing is not something that I can do. Even just like different shades of grey or even white to emphasize that would require more control and detail than I can do at the moment. There was also, like I said, a bird one, and I did not kind of sketch out the layout of that, but we will talk about it. So what we have here is a vague kind of outline of what the beach ball would have been, and I really messed up the arc of the ball. It was supposed to kind of go that way and be an actual arc. As you can see on the side, I added like a small kind of keywords, I guess. And when I say that there was going to be a shadow on the ball, I mean it would have been like this. This would have been just the ball, and this is how the shadow would have been portrayed. That's also how I would have made the waves look. You can see that there is a divergence. One kind of hits the water and then just washes further out, and then one hits the water and sinks. And I feel like that is a more kind of an actual conclusion, but I don't know, there's just something about this which doesn't quite sit right with me. And here we have a layout for the fish swimming. Again, I'm not great at keeping movement exact, and this isn't meant to be exact, it's just to give an idea. Like I said, it wasn't ever going to be as detailed as I wanted it to be. Not unless you make it like a wall hanging size, in which case you get the detail of each individual scale, but that was never a possibility. And I've exclusively drawn the fish because that's really the only thing in its arc that I had like roughly planned out. I did think that maybe like up in this corner there would be a lotus or something just to give it a little bit more of an interesting look, a little bit more detail. And that would maybe, you know, also kind of turn a little over the course of the fish's journey. I did not draw the bird, but that was a similar thing. It was a bird, it started here, it moved across the screen, and probably around here there would have been other birds, but they would have been far enough away that I could have just done little V's. And again, like, that is not, that requires more detail than I can knit or draw. So I'm a little bit stumped at the moment.